Okay, guys, this is your boy Like One Half Enduro. I get it. I get it. I know who I'm talking about. But I have to point out some hypocrisy here, and yeah, which I've done with both these videos. I'm gonna name it again: Real Life Fake Wizard. You're full of it. That's just what it is. I see when I have respect for people, I call it out, but I be respectful to them because I like their channel. Now I ain't gonna say I hate his channel. I'm not subscribed to his channel, but I gotta call out the hypocrisy, stupidity of this thing. You can't have videos talking about you don't own nothing, you don't own nothing, and the companies want you to own nothing, but then you push digital. You can't. You cannot. That's not how it works. And also, I would not take a chance to do your own research. Stop falling the hype. Stop listening to a lot of look. Don't even listen to me when I say some games are good. Do it yourself and see what it is. That's the best way I can say it. Shit, man, it's just so stupid. But he's gonna point out something. He's gonna point out something that I agree with, but then I'm gonna go back on because, but he also gonna point out something that proves my point of this is why we can't have nice things. So I'll let him go with this part right here, which again, this part I agree with him on, and that's what I said. Even if it's people I don't like or people I think that's just full of shit, I will at least say, hey, I don't disagree 100% of the time, and I think, hey, look, he makes a point. He makes a point. If you tell me the sky is blue and I look out and I see a blue sky, well, how can I argue against that? You say ice is cold and I feel it is cold, even though I don't like you, even if it was Hitler. I can't say he's wrong. He's correct. So, here we go.
Hello, I'm the Real Life Fake Wizard. Did you know that Access Media journalists are lying to your face? On January 21st, 2026, a bunch of gaming journalists got flown out to Los Angeles. They were put up in a nice venue. They were given free meals, per diem cards, lift rides. They sat down at high-end PCs and PlayStation 5 Pros that most people can't afford. And they played a game called High Guard for about 4 to 6 hours in a controlled, curated environment with developers hovering nearby. 5 days later, that game launched, and every single one of those journalists published glowing previews. IGN.
Hey, I stopped it there because he said IGN. Anyway, here, go down the list. I can't tell you when or what last have I really followed I think, shit. I mean positively, not negatively. Positively, I'm talking about negatively. Shit, yeah, I've been following just for the stupid jokes and stuff like they did with Codename Steam and all the other dumb shit. I think it would have to be around before the Wii U launch or just about the Wii U launch. But everybody was glowing and happy that Wii U is this. This is gonna be the next best thing in game, and then they shit all over Nintendo. So yeah, I think that's the last time I did. 2012. That's the last time I positively followed gaming media. After that, I don't listen to not a shit they say, cause I know they're full of shit. Now the reason I would never bought the game High, whatever he's on, cause it's what? What is it? It's the usual online mobile hero shooters. I don't give a crap about that genre. One, and two, I know what it's all about. It's all about skins and quick plays and all that stuff. It's not a genre. I detest that genre, so I don't like it. But even if I didn't detest this genre, still wouldn't even go with it at all. But again, listen to the reviews.
I'm surprised to say that I like High Guard's chances. Polygon, one of the best shooters in years. Kotaku, feels like something special. The Gamer, unique, fun PvP raid shooter you won't want to miss. PC Gamer, slick gunplay, pretty fun. Screen Rant, comicbook.com, and then actual players got their hands on High Guard, and within 48 hours, the game was sitting at mostly negative reviews on Steam with an 85% concurrent player drop-off. So what happened? Did the journalists lie? Did they play a different game? Or is something else going on here? The truth is often a combination of all three of these ideas, bringing us to the logical conclusion: you can never trust gaming journalism.
True, and I wouldn't say the same thing for some YouTubers who are too big for the britches and try to say certain stuff. Hey, I remember I proved that point with that PC guy who said, "Oh, Nintendo Switch is crappy, blah blah blah," but he still went on and bought a Nintendo Switch. Imagine how crazy that is. So imagine my surprise when this is how it works. Remember, I'm going to show you everything because I got to point a point. He says you don't own nothing. You see me put those videos of what of the real life is to say you don't own nothing. Okay, so you don't own nothing. You bitched about Nintendo. You bitched about the the NSO. Okay, so life services are disease. I agree. But I could have told you that. And I don't buy life services. The closest game to life services that was close to is life service is Splatoon. But that's the closest you get. Splatoon has a first player mode, an adventure mode, a first offline mode. If Splatoon was all online, like just the PvP part like that, I wouldn't be playing Splatoon. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That's the honest to God truth. But hey.
Fake wizard. A few days ago, I made a video called In Defense of Highguard, where I said I was rooting
In defense of Highguard. The same video you just saw the other talking about Highguard, how he said that the Access Media lied to him.
For this game. I had hopes that their marketing tactic of using silence and not engaging in conventional marketing campaigns could be used to make marketing agencies and consultancy firms look bad. A lot of money is poured into marketing campaigns designed to lie to gamers. If there was a chance this game could break that cycle, from a marketing background myself, it would be interesting to see. I also said in my video, and I quote, "If this game is garbage, so be it, and I will happily make a follow-up video eviscerating them for their pompous arrogance." Yeah, well, welcome to that video. Today's indie game shoutout is Blue Fire. Explore the fallen world of Penumbra in this precision 3D Metroidvania platform.
So you see that? You don't own nothing, but he's pushing a digital game. Okay, I'm gonna skip a little bit because I don't care for that. If you don't want to play the game, have fun with it, indie games or whatever. But I'm just saying, you're pushing digital games. Cool with that.
It's not the rough around the edges.com or scan the QR code on your screen. Now back to the video. Yeah, I played Highguard. I gave it a fair shot. I tried to find the fun, and I gotta tell you, this game is boring. It's not the...
Oh, you gave it a shot. You bought a digital game, even though you say you don't own nothing. You bought a digital game.
Rough around the edges type of boring. It's not the needs time to find its audience. It's just generic and boring. My biggest problem is the maps are friggin' massive, and they're very hyper detailed. So these maps are huge and look impressive when you're not moving around, but you need to be moving around a lot, which makes what you're looking at very hard to see. But yeah, there's all this fantasy architecture and open terrain and verticality, and there are 6 players on it. Total. This is a 3v3 game. Do you understand what that means? It means you spend most of your time alone, riding around on your mount, mining rocks, opening chests, waiting for something to happen. The looting phase, which is supposed to build tension, just doesn't, because you rarely see anyone. You're galloping across what feels like a national park, hoping to bump into an enemy, and most of the time you just don't. When fights do happen, they're fine, the gunplay feels competent enough, but as someone who has no patience for multiplayer respawn time, you mean to tell me I just galloped my ass across this map to get killed, and then I need to wait a respawn time to then what? Gallop across the map again to get killed again? No thank you. You can keep it. I uninstalled immediately after playing 1 session of this, and that...
Congratulations, you played yourself. Yeah. I don't care if that game was coming to a Nintendo console because I'm a Nintendo person mostly, and I have a PlayStation. I could play Steam for a while. I don't care. Just hearing what that game was about, I thought it was going to be a boring game, and who would have thought? I was right. People are like, well, you gotta play the game. I say, look, some games are worth playing just to see what it's all about. I didn't see no hype about this game, but y'all wanted that. But again, hero shooters, which has been, I don't know, just been not my thing. I played, I mean, even when I played, not Concord, what that other one was again. The one with the monkey and them and whatever and stuff like that. I forgot the name of the game because right now I don't play. I didn't play the second version of it because it was just because it's just like I said. The second game just the first game was okay, and I was like, and then it's just like, I don't think about it. But y'all know the game I'm talking about. The hero shooter stuff, like it just that itself just like puts me off. I'm like, I don't want a game like this. It's boring. It's boring. And funny enough, games that you would consider boring on the Nintendo, which I have, Airport Hero, it's boring. It's not. It is not an exciting game. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But it's a puzzle game, so you just figure out how to get certain things. I mean, hell, last night I was like, one stage was kicking my butt. I was like, how the heck to get? And I still didn't get an S on that. I was like, there gotta be a way to get an S on this game. There gotta be a way to get an S on this game because this is annoying me. I'm gonna get an A, grade A. And I failed a couple times, and yeah, but it's a more of a strategic thinking and puzzle game. But a game like this, yeah, I could have thought it was gonna be crap. Live services, Overwatch. That's the name of the game. Overwatch. Yeah, Overwatch is the name of the game. Yeah. No. I'm good. Yeah, I was good on that. First one was all right, and then I was had somewhat fun in that, but yeah. After the second one, no, I don't like it. Because again, I thought they could have had a good single player in that game, and they squandered it. Just like Titanfall. Titanfall was that. And then what made it better, why I like Titanfall 2, because they give a good ass single player. That's how you do shit. This? No. But funny enough, you bought the digital game, uninstalled the digital game. Now, hopefully you install it before you get tacked on for the price and whatever like it is, because I know they have Steam does have a gap of a couple hours so you can play the game whatever. But think about it, that still goes against your point of not owning anything. See, when you could easily uninstall games and get your money back, you are less invested in figuring out what a game's all about. Again, remember back in the day, all we had was box art and reading what's on the box from Blockbuster, for my opinion, to see if this game is a good game or not. As I said, I have a very high rate of games. Only one game I have returned in my life, and I have a couple games that I regret. And there are 5. And I think about it, the games that I regret are not like the games like they were bad per se. It's just that it was a bad implementation of the game. Like the example would be, Code of Princess. I bought Code of Princess for the Switch, thinking, oh man, it's gonna be. They changed the game fundamentally from what it was on the DS. The DS has frame rate issues. I get that. It has slowdowns. I understand that. But the fundamental fun part of that game was way better than what it was on the Switch. So I got the game. It's okay, but the DS version is 10 times better and I like it. Even though it has frame rate drops. Weird enough, I don't like frame rate drops, whatever, but it's the fun and the way that the core, how they set up that game is flipping awesome. But I regret buying the physical version for Switch 1. But the thing about it is, did I go and resell it and throw it away? No. I ate my loss and I ate what I spent on. Because I didn't do enough due diligence to figure out that it would have been like that. Now that you could just instantly uninstall the game quick, whatever, you put less money to figure out what game is good or whatever, and it messes up your perception of what is a good game. That's what people don't understand.
Not to say multiplayer isn't my thing at all. I've sunk a ridiculous amount of time into Marvel Rivals. So yeah, the maps need to be smaller, or the player count needs to be higher. 5v5 minimum, maybe, probably a 6v6, but truthfully, I can't even care to give recommendations to save this pile of crap. I hated the experience so much that I'm never coming back, and we'll
There
get
you
into
go.
it in a little bit. But I'm also not happy with how they marketed the game in the end. They got me bad. And on top of that, this game is
Because you are stupid. They got me bad because you were stupid enough to fall for the shit.
bleeding players right now. Let's look at the Steam reviews. Over 21,000 of them now, mostly negative. 33% positive at the time of recording this. That's a rejection from gamers. And before anyone says review bombing, yeah, review bombing doesn't mean anything. I did a video on that some time ago, and everything I said still stands up today. People love to pile on, sure. But when you dig into the actual reviews people are leaving, the complaints are consistent and specific. The maps are too big, matches feel empty, technical problems, lack of content variety. These aren't really trolls. These are people describing the same experience I just described to you now. But the data on these reviews is pretty interesting. Players with less than an hour of playtime seems overwhelmingly negative. Players with 5 or more hours, 78% positive. And some people point to that as evidence that the game is actually good if you just give it time. I don't buy it. You know what the data actually shows? It shows that the only people who stuck around long enough to leave positive reviews are the ones who are already predisposed to like it. Everyone else bounced. The game isn't earning goodwill through quality. It's more like there's a survivorship bias here. The people who hated it left. The people who were gonna like it stayed anyway. Of course, the remaining reviews are more positive in that case. And of course, the player numbers tell the real story. Launch day peak, 97,000 concurrent players on Steam. That's actually pretty solid for a new IP with little marketing. This is what I described in my original video.
And that's another thing I hate. The whole concurrent players, blah, 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 that shit. I like the one number I used to like, and I still like to this day, how much games got sold. How much people's playing the game by buying the game, buying what you want. That feels more better to me than the bullshit about, oh, concurrent players and how this is this. See, again, they desensitize people down to the fact so they don't understand what they're missing. That's how they do you.
People talking about the game increased curiosity, plus the fact that it was free, plus the fact there was a brigade of shills that dropped all of their, oh my gosh, you guys, I got flown across the world to this marketing gig, and I love the game so much, it's gonna change the world. People were made to be curious, so they showed up.
Not me.
Or at least 97,000 of them did. But within hours, the game is now under 18,000 players. That's an 80% drop in hours. Not days. This is a game hemorrhaging players because they tried it and didn't like it. Free to play means there's no barrier to entry, but there's also no barrier to exit. People downloaded it, played a match or two, said nah, and uninstalled it. The friction cuts both ways here. Critics have been kinder. Metacritic has some scores in the 70s and 80s. Phrases like innovative gameplay loop, esports potential, and snappy gunplay. And look, critics can say what they want, but in this case, it doesn't matter. Potential doesn't matter if the execution fails. And the execution here has failed. The maps are too big. The matches are too empty. Reports and reviews claimed the game shipped with technical problems that shouldn't have made it past QA. All of the potential in the world doesn't help if the actual experience of playing the game is boring. You know, that's the worst offense you can make as a company that sells entertainment. Boring your audience is the cardinal sin. All right, now let's do the hard part. Let's go back to my original video and address the things I said, because I made some specific claims, and those claims deserve specific responses now that the game is out. Number 1, I very much liked their silence strategy. That 6 weeks of no marketing generated free advertising through discourse. That every article and video...
Okay, I'm not gonna go through all this. my point stands. It is good. You want to watch it, watch the rest of the video. Most of the people who watch my video don't watch him anyway because they think he's a clown. So it is what it is. But I'll say this again. It's funny. You don't own nothing, but you buy games where you don't own nothing. So it's kind of like, huh, see, I buy physical because I want to own it. Again, my caveat is indie games, which that's an indie game, and I get that. The indie game that he pushed at the beginning. If it's indie games, I respect that. Independent developers, I know how hard it is to get noticed. I understand that. I respect y'all, but I'm not buying. But I'm not buying a lot of indie games. And that is the next video I'm gonna do. My WTF videos I've been doing lately. I'm coming back with them. So I gotta remember to put them on the WTF list. Another WTF I'm gonna put in is, indies is the new goal. I've said it before, I'll say it again. No, it's not. There are worse indie games compared to good indie games. The percentage is different in that than in the I'm quote unquote here AAA market, which I don't even like that stupid word. There are great indie games out there, bar none. But for every 10 indie games that are good and people like it, there are millions that are shit compared to if it was go to the regular thing, which is like maybe 10. And if there's 10 good games in the industry, regular industry, there's about maybe 100, maybe 1,000 games that's crappy. So I respect the indie people for those who work hard. Team Cherry, Yacht Club Games, which might not be around as much, Way Forward, all those stuff. Good for you guys. But there are plenty of people in the indie who made acid flips, shitty games, coin games, scam games, and y'all literally just follow for it. But indies get the break from it. They shouldn't. They should not at all. So with that said, I'll do that video when I got a chance. But for right now, don't be saying you don't own nothing while you buying games that basically says you don't own nothing. It's kind of stupid, don't you think? At least I'm consistent. Physical. Unless it's something like I said, an indie game or whatever, that's the only reason I don't. But outside of that, no. Physical all the way. That's what I'm gonna do. Cause that's the only way I could preserve games so I could play later. It's not the company's point to preserve no damn games. So let's get that out of the way. Alright, with that said, I call it. There's no perfect games out there. What's perfect is not perfect to me. What's perfect to me is not perfect to you. Simply enjoy your games at all costs, including PC and mobile devices. And for goodness sake, buy physical.